Okay guys, coming back into the PowerPoint, the next area that I'd like to cover is how to book loads. Now, when we're independent operators, we have to find loads. Like let's say we don't have any contacts with any companies that are looking for our services. There are tons and tons of load boards out there that are online, and they list loads every day that need to basically cargo that needs to be shipped from A to B. And they work regionally, loads going from your local area to another city that let's say is in your local area, and they also have long haul stuff. Whatever you want to do, they have it available. And I suggest trying out a few of these different load boards. Many of them give you free trials, like a 1 month free trial. You don't even have to enter a credit card. Another idea is to call them up because they're looking for your business. Tell them what you do. Say, I operate a HotShot setup. If they don't know what that means, say it's a pickup truck, basically a big pickup truck with a flatbed trailer, and I specialize in less than load work. And they'll either say, oh yeah, we've got many loads, or some of them will say, yeah, we don't really specialize in that, sorry. More likely than not, they're going to say no problem. But the thing is that you want to try them out. The typical info that you get once you're in a load board is you're going to be able to search, say, Miami to Fort Lauderdale. Let's just use that as an example. So that's your search criteria, and it's going to populate the page with a list of cargo that's going that way. And actually here I've got Toronto to Buffalo. So this is what it looks like. So it'll say John Deere, it'll have a model number, sometimes it doesn't. It'll say the weight usually, sometimes it doesn't. It'll usually give the height of the tractor, and it'll say we need 15 feet of deck. So you can see that's a less than load because it's a lot shorter than a normal platform. Call Tony, ready now, tarp needed. So it says it needs a tarp. Obviously you usually don't need to tarp a tractor, but I just put that in for example, to give you an example of what one of these looks like. Tarping is something that you can either do or not do. There's not a lot of loads that need tarping, but maybe 20% of them do. And you've got to make sure you charge extra for that because tarping takes time. So make sure you factor that into the price, okay? Don't let these guys push you around. If they're, say, charging or paying $2 a mile, and you say, oh, that's fair, but what about my tarping time? So get them to add on another $100 or something. Just negotiate with them, see what they can do for you. Also in this listing I put operator needed. Usually you don't see that, but when you're picking up a tractor or any kind of farm equipment that's drivable, find out from the broker if there's somebody there that can drive this thing onto your trailer, because fortunately I've been in situations where I've hauled a few tractors in my time, and most of the time I've had operators there, and that's always better because every tractor's different. Like, let's not be cowboys here. I know everybody says, oh, I can drive a tractor. Well, yeah, but if you drive the thing and you push the wrong pedal or something and the thing falls off the trailer, then you got a whole mess. So you just want to make sure you got somebody around who knows how to operate this thing and can help you load it. And really, you want no-touch freight. We're going to get into that in the next slide, and I'm going to explain all that, what I mean by no-touch freight. But when you're booking through brokers, most of the time, if not all the time, it's no-touch freight. Actually, it has to be, because if not, they got to pay extra. They're not paying packing service. You're not a moving company in that sense where you're packing boxes and loading boxes and stuff like that onto the trailer. You're simply there to drive up. They tell you where to park. They load your trailer. You direct them where you want the stuff loaded, put this on the back part, put this, of course you're involved in that process, but as far as moving the freight, you should not have to touch it, other than maybe putting some 4x4s down, or, helping slide something over from time to time, whatever. But as far as driving cars and driving tractors and stuff like that, that's not your job. Your job is to drive your truck. So they should have an operator available. If not, charge a little bit extra if you can. So to book loads, we've all heard of UShip, and I wanted to cover this because really, I have gotten a few loads through UShip. They've been okay, but they end up being more of a nightmare than not. It's really not worth the time, I find, because you're dealing with residential, just normal Joes, right? These people don't know how to load cargo. They don't know our business. So you get there and it's like, well, I've got these boxes that got to go on. Can you help me move them on? And I've done that, and it's like, really, is this worth my time? Um, it just becomes more of a headache because they don't know what to expect. They've never shipped something before, and they're not prepared. And the other thing about UShip and similar sites is I find is just simply the rates are not very good because people are bidding and bidding, and they get down so low it doesn't even cover your fuel. So when you book through a broker, you're dealing with professionals usually the whole way along. You show up at a factory who they ship stuff out of there every day. So they have forklift drivers who know how to put stuff on trailers. They're professionals. So it's a different category where when you show up at Joe Blow's house to load a car on, he's never loaded a car on a trailer. So you end up doing all the work. And usually it's not worth it in the end because it's just a big headache. So I would suggest sticking with brokers. If you want to use UShip or any of those types of services, that's fine, but please be prepared to deal with just messy stuff. Another story. I brought a tractor back from Ottawa for a client that I met through UShip, and they called me later to pull another tractor, and we got back to the location, and then they're like, well, actually we want it at another location, so I had to drive like an extra half an hour to get it at this other spot, and it's just unorganized, you know what I mean? Where a broker, if they get you to do that, to go to separate locations, you charge for that. And but once you're in the middle of the job, you can try to ask for more money, but it's a little bit more difficult. Or at least with a broker, a reputable one, you can say to them, you can call them up and say, hey, they've got me going to location B right now. You didn't tell me about this. And I guarantee you they're going to say, don't worry about it. We're going to revise the purchase order or the order confirmation and add on $100 or something like that for your time. So it's just a better way to roll when you're working through a broker.